This week's Alteryx Weekly Challenge is looking at nuclear power stations, and we've got a lot of different files to join together, and then we're going to use some reporting tools to create the map and the table that we want to have. So if we look at our first file, this is in a JSON format. So basically what we have in the JSON name column is the row ID and the column headers separated by a full stop. So the first thing we want to do is split those into two columns so that we can then pivot the data to be in more of a tabular format. So if we split those up using the text columns tool, just having the delimiter as a full stop and for two columns, then we see that we kind of get, rather than that, we get our row ID and then our column headers like that. So now when we use the Crosstab tool, we're grouping it by our row ID. We're using that second column that came out as our row headers, and the value string is where all the values are for that table. So that all works nicely here. Now we kind of have a duplication of row IDs now, where we have our row ID from the JSON file and this ID field, so we can definitely get rid of this one in the join tool. So rather than using a select tool, we use the join tool here, and that's because there's no point having two tools, and we're using our country code lookup to join to our dataset, and we see from the left output that nothing's falling out, so everything's matching up well, which is great. We then are going to change our status ID to be numeric, because in this lookup table for the status code is a numeric field, so to be able to join them we need them both to be numeric. So we do that, so we get our nice status, and we see again that nothing drops out, so that's great. And we need to do a similar thing with the reactor type ID, make that into a numeric object, and then we can join on for our reactor type. We do see that we get a few falling out here because they don't have a reactor type ID. So we join them, we stick them back in with a union, and then we kind of filter out anything that has an empty latitude or longitude so that we actually are able to plot them on our map before creating those spatial object points. Now, oh, that's gone a bit messed up, hasn't it? One thing that I always forget when it comes to building a report map is that in order to colour the points differently, they need to be different inputs into the map tool, the report map tool. So that means that because we only want to visualize the operational power plants, the under construction ones, and the planned ones, we need to split them out into three different streams to go into the report map. So that's what we're doing, just using filter tools here. And then when we go into the report map itself, then we can see those incoming connections there. And this is where we are able to actually choose their style in the layers tab, and we add a points layer of number 1, number 2, number 3, and we just rename the layer name. It's by default #1, so we rename that to be operational because we know that anything coming in from 1 is an operational status, and we use the style to change the color there, and we just make sure that our legend is laid out to the right, which it is by default, so that's great too. And we do the same sort of thing for the under construction and the planned, just using the little plus here to expand to get the style, so we can choose what color we want it to be. And then we can see that our report map is nicely done there. It has our little legend to the side. Perfect, that's what we want. Now we've got to focus on building that table that we were asked for. So we want to have for each country, we want to know how many operational reactors there are. So we do a count distinct of the ID, and we want to sum the total capacity. I think I had to go back to the second join tool just to make that capacity numeric rather than a string field. So that's just a little tip to stop you having to add a select tool before the summarize tool there. And then if we want to find out what the most common type of plant is, then we are going to group by the country and by the description and count distinct IDs again. So then we have, 48 rows instead of the 31. So we have like one for each different type of reactor in each country. So for something like Finland, there you go, you've got 2 different ones. And we are going to sort those by country and descending count distinct ID, so descending number of reactors, and then we're just going to keep the top one for each country because that will give us the most common type. And then we just join that back in with our country dataset, and we have our most common type for each country. We're going to sort those in descending order by the operational reactors, and then we're going to just create a table out of it. I don't think I ordered any of the settings in the table, but you can see that now we have our table, which is great. And then we just union those two report items together, and we create a vertical layout container for each individual record, vertical orientation, and have these both ticked here. And so that when we use the render tool, then if I click in my results here, then you will see, I'll just drag it onto the screen that you can see it on, that here is our nice report, exactly as was designed for the app. So hopefully that was useful to you, and thanks for listening.